everybody, welcome back to Kavanaugh's Corner. Here on the channel, I review 4K Ultra HD Blu-rays and really just anything kind of physical media related. So if you're a big fan of that kind of thing, definitely make sure to subscribe. Now, today, I just got a movie in, not obviously the day that I'm posting this, but the day of me filming this. I got this in from Warner Brothers Home Entertainment, and I had to make a video about it because I popped this in immediately. This is a movie that I actually saw twice when it came out in theaters. I really enjoyed this movie. I know it's a little formulaic and stuff, but it really harkens back to those kind of movies that I really grew up with, and it was just a lot of fun, a really enjoyable movie, and that is F1, or F1 the movie. It really needed that subtitle. But anyway, this is with Brad Pitt. You've got Javier Bardem in this, Damson Idris, Kerry Condon, and this is just a fabulous movie. I absolutely loved the cinematography, the look of this film, the way it was directed. This is directed by same gentleman who did Top Gun Maverick. His name is Joseph Kosinski. And he is a really good director of kind of high-speed stuff. And he did this. He also did Tron Legacy. He's a damn good action director, in my opinion. So today, I'm going to be reviewing the 4K of this. We're going to talk about the picture quality, the audio quality, and the special features. Now, to jump right in here, let's talk about the picture quality. This was completely shot digitally, and some of it was mastered in 4K, some of it was mastered in 6K, and other stuff was actually shot in 8.6K, which is just nuts. I think actually even certain shots of this movie were shot on an iPhone 15 Pro, which is ironically enough what I'm filming this with. And this is a 4K, native 4K digital intermediate. And I gotta say, this movie looked super, super sharp. It's crystal clear all throughout. And there is a almost like negligible layer of like artificial film grain that was put on this. But unless you're, an inch and a half away from your television, you're not gonna see this. Now, I watched this on an OLED television. I have a C4 OLED from LG. This just looked stunning throughout. The colors are super vivid. They're extremely accurate. But when those highlights come up, they are eye-poppingly beautiful. Right off the bat, the first scene of the film is the 24 Hours at Daytona race. And there's a shot where Brad Pitt's character is driving this Porsche, and these fireworks go off. It's happening at night, and it just looks so beautiful. The dark sky, the night sky with the fireworks going off, and that kind of happens on and off throughout the movie. But interiors really do reflect the proper lighting aesthetic that they're going for. So homes and stuff have warmer lighting. The offices have that halogen kind of bulb lighting, that very harsh lighting. And when the races happen and they're outside, lighting of the scenes is very accurate to what the weather is like. And I love seeing this in films. When it's cloudy, it's gray. The movie looks gray, and I love that. When it's sunny, it's brighter. There's a lot of moments like that throughout, and black levels are very, very well defined. Shadow detail is really good in this, and pretty much anytime there's any sort of bright highlights, they are eye-poppingly beautiful. There's a lot of brakes sparking, the orange sparks of these race car brakes, and the exhaust flames that shoot out of these cars all throughout the movie. It really is kind of mind-blowing to see it, and it just looks fabulous on this 4K, and that's really due to the Dolby Vision that's on this disc. The Dolby Vision does a lot of favors for this movie, and it just looks so bright and lifelike, and it's just overall a very, very beautiful looking picture, and the detail level on this is no different. It is just insanely detailed. There's a few close-up shots of the different actors and actresses in the film, and they all just look so detailed. There's one shot in particular where there's a close-up of one of the characters, an older gentleman who has a beard. And if you pause it just at the right time, you could actually probably walk up to your TV or projector or whatever and count the individual hairs on his face. Not sure if you actually want to do that, but you could if you wanted to. It's pretty wild how amazing this disc looks. Now, there is one big caveat with this 4K. As beautiful as it looks, even though this movie was shot for IMAX, there is no IMAX ratio on this 4K, and that really sucks in my opinion. I think we're at a day and age where if a movie was shot in IMAX, and I actually did see this in IMAX, and it was spectacular looking, just put the IMAX ratio on the disc. It is just insanity that that is not a part of this, and that was a really big disappointment for me on this, that we're missing those IMAX sequences. It is a 2:39:1 aspect ratio from start to finish. There is no switching or dynamic aspect ratio changing. So as a purist, in certain ways, that kind of bugs me. I really don't like the fact that that's not on this disc. I guess it may have been a budgetary issue with Warner Brothers for the home video release, but I don't know. The way I look at it, if you can film it in IMAX, you can put it on the 4K in IMAX. Just a really strange choice there that was made for that, and kind of disappointing. Thankfully, the movie does look amazing, and to kind of segue into the next part of the review here, the sound on this is actually even more impressive. The audio quality on this disc is another kind of reference level audio disc here. And it's crazy that 2 videos in a row now I've had basically reference level audio on here, but this one may be one of the best of the year that I've seen so far, if not the best in terms of audio quality. This does have a Dolby Atmos track. It is dynamic. It engulfs you in the race sequences in this film. It's very well tuned. I will say, though, I did have to pump up the volume about 10 points from where I normally have it. So it is a little bit of a quiet Atmos track. But once you get that volume turned up, just buckle up, because it is a knockout. This thing is going to blow your socks off. As I mentioned, the racing sequences especially, the cars racing around you, skidding, and the deep lows of the bass of this are also very, very impressive. There are a lot of times in the race scenes where there's an announcer that is kind of echoed through the raceway, and it sounds amazing at home here. The announcers, that echo kind of carries through, but it doesn't overwhelm the audio track. It just kind of sits above it. And I don't know how they did this, but it works really, really well. It's never overbearing in any way, but there were times where it kind of does sound like you're on a couch in the middle of an F1 race. There's very clear dialogue in this, and Hans Zimmer's score, it's an 80s throwback kind of score, has a lot of percussion and stuff, but it's just booming when it does take over, and I really love that. It's really well done, and honestly, for video and audio, this is one that you could really use to show off your home theater with, especially if you have a really good surround sound system. This is a wild one. I was very, very impressed with the audio on this. And there's also a bunch of special features on here. There is a F1 table read where the actors are actually reading through the script and everything together. Jerry Bruckheimer, who produced this, as well as many, many other huge blockbuster hits through the years, he is there with the director, and the cast is just kind of all reading through the script of the film. That's a neat little featurette. There's also another featurette that's called The Anatomy of a Crash, that goes into a particular scene that happens in the film without spoiling anything, and how it was based on something that happened in real life. And there's another featurette that's called Getting Up to Speed, and that shows how Brad Pitt and Damson Idris were both trained to actually race F1 vehicles. They didn't do all the racing that you see in the film, but they did do actually a lot of the driving, and you can really see how they got that training from real F1 crews, so that's pretty neat. There's also another featurette that's called APX GP Innovations, which is about all the different engineering and technological advancements that go into Formula One racing. There's another featurette that's called Making It to Silverstone, and that actually shows how they shot some of the scenes at that raceway where they actually filmed during a real race and how they kind of had to really plan this thing out for years to do it. There's another featurette that's with Lewis Hamilton, who is actually a producer of this film, who is a champion F1 racer, probably the most famous Formula One racer in the world, and how he kind of influenced the script and had some creative say-so in the film, but also helped to actually make it a movie with integrity when it came to Formula One racing. There's another featurette on here that's called Apex Sets and Locations Around the World. Obviously, kind of self-explanatory there, but it just goes to all the different locations that they shot the film at. There's another one that's called Apex GP and Formula One, How It Was Filmed. That's probably my favorite featurette because it really gets into how they really shot this movie and all the different camera rigs and inventive things that they made to really capture the racing of Formula One in a way that no other movie has really done before. There's another featurette that's called Sound of Speed that is kind of a little look at how Hans Zimmer and his crew put together the score for the film. And all of these little featurettes are really nice to kind of see a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff in this film. And I like when they put stuff like that on a disc. So there's a good amount of it. They're not really extremely long. They're all around 5 to 10 minutes long. But they're on the disc, and it's a nice little addition to have. There's a lot of movies that come out these days that only have a handful of things or sometimes nothing at all. So I'm glad that they at least added a few nice little behind-the-scenes featurettes to this. So what did I think of F1 on 4K? I think this is a phenomenal release here from Warner Brothers and Apple Original Films. I really enjoyed this movie. If you're a big Formula One fan, you actually may really love this movie, although I do have a few friends of mine that love Formula One racing, and they actually were kind of laughing at this movie as it was happening because it's just so wild, some of the stuff that happens in this. But I enjoyed it. I think Brad Pitt, he's looking more and more like Robert Redford every day. I don't know what the heck's happening with him, but he's really good in this. It's a charming film. It's a nice throwback to the racing movies of yesteryear, and it's just really well done. The picture quality on this disc is phenomenal. The audio quality is great, but the big minus to me on this was that lack of IMAX scenes in this. The lack of that IMAX ratio really bummed me out. I didn't know that was the case until I popped the disc in, but I wanted to make you aware of it so you would know before you went and spent your hard-earned dollars on F1. If you want to pick up F1, I'll leave a link in the description below that goes to Amazon. If you use that link, it does help me out big time here on the channel. But the best thing you can do to lend me a hand here is to give me a thumbs up on this video if you liked it. If not, then, you know, I understand. But if you are a big fan of physical media and you enjoyed my review here, please definitely make sure to subscribe down below as well so I can keep bringing you reviews like this, and hit the bell icon so you know when my next one comes out. I usually try to do one or so a week, and I really hope I can see you again here on the channel. Thank you for watching. I really, really appreciate you all. Until next time, please stay safe, keep collecting, and take it easy.